Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Gold Fleece Fantasy. If you're new here, my name is Austin. Welcome to my fantasy football YouTube channel where we talk about standard fantasy, redraft, dynasty leagues, sports betting for the NFL, all things football. Please drop a like and subscribe if you like the content, and let's get into it. Today, we're going to be talking about Joe Mixon and his fantasy outlook for 2023. Super controversial player. There's a lot of mix going on about him in the fantasy community right now, if you should fade or draft Joe Mixon. Personally, I like Joe Mixon a lot. I think that he is great value this year. Let's get into why. Joe Mixon, he played 14 games last year. 210 carries, 814 rushing yards, averaging 3.9 yards a carry, and 7 rushing touchdowns. Kind of weak on the rushing side of things for touchdowns, and he didn't get 1,000 yards rushing, but he makes up for it in the receiving work. He had 60 receptions, 441 receiving yards, averaging 7.3 yards a reception and 2 touchdowns. He finished RB12 in half-point PPR. A lot of these points did come from his 50-point game where he dropped a nuke, so take what you want away from that. I mean, he probably would have finished RB 20 to 25 without that game. I mean, even if you just gave him 10 points of that game, that's 40 points you're taking away from his total score. So yeah, he's probably realistically RB 20 to 25. But I mean, you get what you get. If you had Joe Mixon that week, he probably won your week. So sometimes you're gonna have players like this that are inconsistent, that are they blow up for 40, 50 points, and it skews it a lot. But that's how it is. Some red zone stats for you guys. Inside the 10, he had 29 carries. Inside the 20, he had 38 carries. Inside the 5, he had 14 carries with a total of 81 red zone carries. So he's pretty high up there in the red zone stats, which is exactly what you want to see in a bell cow running back. And that's just one of the many reasons on why I would draft Joe Mixon. His current ADP is 29. So, you're looking at, close to the third round. You're telling me you can get an RB1 in the third round, but you're not interested? Doesn't make any sense. So Samaje Perine is gone, who was kind of taking over the backfield for the last couple games last year. Like, he had the hot hand clearly, was playing better than Joe Mixon, and they didn't re-sign him. He's in Denver now. So you don't have to worry about him at all. They did draft Chase Brown in the 5th round, who is a running back out of Illinois. Who cares? He's not going to be taking Joe Mixon's spot, in my opinion, and neither is their other running back, Travion Williams. So, I mean, it's pretty simple. I expect Joe Mixon to be a bell cow once again this year. They might ask him to take a pay cut just so they can make everything work. With they have a lot of moving pieces here. A lot of players are getting a lot of money from the Bengals, so hopefully Joe Mixon works that out. I think that might be part of the reason why his draft stock is people are kind of fading him a little bit, just a couple question marks. But, if you do this draft in August and, everything's settled, you'll see him moving up. Like, he'll be going closer, in the second round of things, early third. So, I would try to get Joe Mixon if you can get Joe Mixon. He's going to be a good bell cow running back this year. One of the only few left in the league. Their O-line was pretty garbage for last year. It was not good. Joe Burrow got sacked a lot. Joe Mixon really struggled to get it going. I'm going to blame a lot of that on the O-line. I don't think it's all on him. They did sign Orlando Brown, which is a huge upgrade. So at least they're trying to address the problem. One more stat for you. He scored under 9 fantasy points in only 4 games. Only in 4 games he scored under 9 fantasy points. So he's at least an RB2. You're at least going to get that production from him. 2 players that are being drafted near him are Aaron Jones and Najee Harris, and I'll just go ahead and avoid both of those because I don't want them. Seems pointless for me to draft either of them over Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is the back of his team in a top 5 offense, whereas the Steelers suck and the Packers suck too. Jordan Love is not going to lead this team to winning that division, and neither is Kenny Pickett in winning his. I think Najee Harris should be better this year, but he was pretty bad last year along with Mixon. They were pretty close where they finished, I think, in their rankings in 2022. But yeah, I personally, I would draft Joe Mixon. I have no problem drafting him as my RB1. You're probably not going to, if he's your RB2, you're ecstatic. If he's your RB1, then I'd still be happy. So let me know in the comments below if you are fading or drafting Joe Mixon, and don't forget to like and subscribe for that algorithm. Have a good one. See ya.